Welcome back to the Anything History channel, where we delve into the depths of the unknown, exploring the mysteries and legends that have captivated humanity for centuries. From cryptids and creatures of the night to ancient civilizations and unexplained phenomena, join us on a journey through the annals of history as we seek to uncover the truth behind the tales that have stood the test of time. In the dark heart of the South Carolina wilderness lies the sinister and foreboding Scape or Swamp, a place steeped in mystery and dread. It was here, in the early hours of a fateful summer morning in 1988, that the legend of the Lizard Man was born. An unbelievable story of a man with the features of a large lizard. Even the news stations took notice. Our story begins with a young man named Christopher Davis, a resident of the nearby town of Bishopville. It was the 29th of June when Davis, returning home from working a night shift at McDonald's, blew a flat tire on his 1976 Toyota Celica. It happened on a desolate stretch of Browntown Road, about a mile past the Scape or bridge. He had no choice but to pull over and try to put on a spare. As he struggled to change a flat tire, a sense of unease crept over him, as if he were being watched by unseen eyes lurking in the darkness. Suddenly, without warning, a creature emerged from the shadows, a towering, reptilian behemoth with glowing red eyes and razor-sharp claws. Davis later reflected back, saying that the creature's searing eyes, three-clawed fingers, and snake-like scales made him believe he was under siege by the devil himself. Frozen in terror, Davis could only watch in horror as the creature lunged towards him, its foul breath hot on his face. With a primal instinct for survival, Davis fought back, managing to escape the creature's clutches and flee into the safety of his car. Here's how Davis described the encounter to the Houston Chronicle after the story had gained national attention.
My tire just bust and it flat. So I got out and changed it about 2 a.m. at night. After I was finished changing, I was putting flat in the jack in the trunk. And I looked back. I saw red eyes, big red eyes thing running toward it. So I jumped in the driver's side, and when I was shutting the door, it grabbed the door. So I jerked the door and shut it and pulled off. And I looked in the mirror, I saw a big image and a loud crash on top of the car.
He said that he started the car and tried to take off with the creature still attached to his roof. He then said that he began driving at full speed, swerving left and right, trying to shake the thing with no success. It was not until he slammed on brakes was he able to fling the monster off and onto the side of the road. Davis arrived home confused and afraid, not knowing what to do. And he only came forward with his story after the Lee County Sheriff's Office started investigating another mysteriously damaged car outside of Bishopville in the Browntown community. Shirley Way reported that their 1985 Ford LTD had been mauled during the night while they slept. After hearing reports of that damaged car and other sightings, Davis's father took him to the Lee County Sheriff's Office to make his report. He was asked to take and passed a polygraph test and gave a depiction of the creature he saw.
I scratched my head. I said, I can't believe this, what I'm hearing. I said, okay, draw it. He drew it. Immediately he drew it. At that time, when this first broke, it went all over the world in 3 days' time.
Then there was the family Rawson that also found their car damaged too. Their vehicle had been parked under an open metal carport. It had suffered extensive damage to the molding, sidewalls, and hood.
He comes back in, he says, honey, put on your coat and shoes. I want to show you something. So he comes out and the car. And I mean, we're just like, oh my God, what could have done this?
It would have seemed like the work of a vandal, but hair and footprints found on the car led them to believe some kind of animal might have been responsible. But what kind of animal would sink its claws and teeth into the metal skin of a car? The encounter left Davis and the others shaken to the core, but it was only the beginning of a series of chilling encounters that would grip the town of Bishopville in fear. In the days and weeks that followed, reports began to surface of other sightings of the Lizard Man, each more terrifying than the last. Witnesses described a creature unlike anything they had ever seen before. Standing over 7 feet tall, with scaly skin and glowing red eyes that pierced the darkness just like burning coals. Among others who claimed to have encountered the creature was a local farmer named Bob Rawson, who reported finding his chickens slaughtered in the dead of night, their bodies torn apart by some unknown predator. Another resident, Sarah Ferguson, recounted a harrowing tale of waking in the night to find the creature lurking outside her bedroom window, its sinister silhouette illuminated by the pale light of the moon. She said she scared it off when she yelled and screamed to the top of her lungs in fear.
I took this thing very serious because we turned our backs on it. Oh, it wasn't nothing to it. Say it attacked somebody's children, even the adults. Not only would I have to leave the county, I would have had to leave the state.
As fear and paranoia swept through the town, desperate attempts were made to capture or kill the creature, but all efforts proved futile.
One of the things that the media has done, they would take it from Chris Davis and that was all, but this thing, at least 12 people saw it.
The morning that I saw what I saw, I was loading the plane right over here like I always do and taxied out on the runway here. Started my takeoff roll, and there's a point down here that if you're not off the ground, you better throttle back and stop. After that point, you better hope you fly. That's about where I was at the day that this, whatever it was, crossed the runway in front of me. He turned his head and looked at the plane. He looked at it and turned right back and the thing had a kind of a lope in its walk, and like I said, much taller than you. I would guess 8.5, 9 feet tall.
And if that wasn't enough, a South Carolina woman came forward in 2015 to the media to report a spotting of the legendary swamp creature known as Lizard Man, and has provided photographic evidence of the sighting. Take a look. The woman, identified only as Sarah by WCIV ABC News 4, says she went to church with a friend Sunday morning and stepped out of the sanctuary to see the lizard man running along the tree line. "My hand to God, I am not making this up," she wrote in an email to the news station. WCIV reported her claim as well as the cell phone photo she submitted. What do you think about this God-fearing witness? As fear and paranoia has swept through the town, desperate attempts have been made to capture or kill the creature, but all efforts so far have proved futile. Despite countless numbers of sightings and encounters, the lizard man has remained elusive, a spectral presence haunting the swamps and forests of Bishopville. Years have passed, but the legend of the lizard man has endured, its legacy woven into the fabric of local folklore. Some dismiss it as a mere urban legend, a cautionary tale spun from the depths of collective imagination. Others, however, remained convinced of its existence, their belief fueled by the chilling accounts of those who claim to have encountered the creature firsthand. The lizard man story has brought lots of attention to the town. The story even improved Bishopville's commerce. Gift shops stock plenty of items and paraphernalia. Restaurants have food items with the name. And the town even started a festival commemorating one of the weirdest events ever recorded in South Carolina history. Lizard Man of Scape or Swamp. Lizard Man of Lee County. The Bishopville Monster. South Carolina's Lizard Man. Whatever you want to call it. It's all the legend of the Lizard Man. As for Christopher Davis, the man whose encounter first brought the legend to light and gained international fame, he eventually retreated into obscurity, still haunted by the memories of that fateful night. Some said he wandered the streets of Bishopville for a while, a dogged and broken man, forever tormented by the specter of the lizard-looking creature. But that did not last long. Unfortunately and sadly, reports say Christopher Davis was killed in his home in an apparent robbery for drug money in June of 2009. A suspect turned himself into police, and another was apprehended in connection with the fatal shooting. Chris was then 37 years old. The saddest part may be that he was currently scheduled to appear on the Oprah Winfrey Show to tell his lizard man story to the world again. But his story will live on, and legacy will always be about the time he became an international celebrity at the age of 17. When he reported the first official encounter of the legendary lizard man, the big-eyed swamp creature. The world took notice of this wild story. Strangely, with all the search, investigations, publicity, and subsequent sightings, authorities were never able to figure out what creature really prompted the initial reports by Davis. What do you think Chris really saw? Regardless, the mystery of the lizard man of Scape or swamp endures, its origins lost to the mists of time, its legacy etched into the annals of history as one of the most chilling and enigmatic cryptid encounters of modern times.